After just 1 year, I can say with dignity and pride that we have achieved a transformation like no one has ever seen before, and a turnaround for the ages. It is indeed a turnaround for the ages.
This afternoon, we're taking a look at a lengthy State of the Union address from President Donald J. Trump. The president speaking for almost 2 hours, and that is the longest State of the Union on record. The president using the address to break down what he is calling a turnaround for the ages. The president also spoke about immigration enforcement, economic gains, and expanded tariffs as proof of progress in the country. We're going to have more of an in-depth look at last night's address that's coming up at 12:15, so stay with us. In other news, the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission is taking a closer look at energy affordability in our state, also known as the IURC, and they have announced this afternoon that they will do an investigative inquiry on March 24th into the 5 major utility companies in the state, and that includes AES, CenterPoint Energy, Duke Energy, Indiana Michigan and Power Company, and Northern Indiana Public Service Company. Now, each company will give a presentation on how usage rates translate into the bills we pay. From there, the commission will determine the next steps, and of course, we'll continue to follow this story to see what comes of it, what info we learn, and what developments come about. Turning now to a much warmer forecast. Sean is here, keeping track of it. Yeah. It feels so much different than it did a day ago, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It feels much warmer.
It really does. And I told the crew this morning, this would normally be the pick of the week, but it's not.
Because it's gonna get better. That's awesome.
It is. We're still promoting a 3-day weekend. Heck, make it a 4 or 5 day if you want.
Keep going.
But that's up to you and your boss.
You handle the consequences.
Yes. Let's show you the sunshine that's outside. We've got a westerly wind going across Morris right now. We had some cloud cover earlier this morning. That's now departing. Most importantly, temperatures. Boy, look at this shot there from the Country Club of Indy there on the west side of Marion County. 48 degrees. West wind, it's about 20 miles per hour. We're going to be peaking at around 50, if not a little higher than that in some locations. A little cooler to the north, however. It's 42 in Kokomo, 39 in Monticello, but it's 50 degrees in Bedford. We did have a frontal system that pushed through on the dry side. Had a little bit of light rain earlier, but look at the numbers compared to 24 hours ago. Exactly what Felicia's talking about. A good 15, almost 20 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Just going to be a spectacular afternoon. Sunshine pleasant as the kids get home. Now, I will tell you, overnight and before you wake up tomorrow morning, there's the possibility of maybe a little bit of light snow. That is still in the forecast. I think any impacts on the roadways should be pretty minimal, but we're not going to rule out a few slick spots, and it's a very narrow region. Anything that does accumulate on the roadways is not going to last long. We're going to jump right back into the 40s with more sunshine tomorrow. The warmest is yet to come. More on that, but up and down temperatures in the 7-day as well in just a few minutes.
Sean, thank you. And new this noon, Metro Police are investigating a death on the city's west side. So this is at a mobile home on Landola Lane near South Lyndhurst Drive and I-70. It happened around 8:30 this morning. We have very little details surrounding this case, but we are working to learn more. The Marion County Coroner's Office will determine the person's cause of death. And an Indianapolis man is in jail this afternoon, charged with threatening to shoot a Marion County judge during a phone call with his girlfriend who was in jail. So during the call, Jordan Williams' girlfriend allegedly told him that she would likely be going to prison. That's when he threatened to shoot the judge. Williams is now charged with felony intimidation of a judge and cocaine possession. Now, just over a month ago, Tippecanoe County Judge Steve Meyer and his wife survived a shooting in their home. 6 people are charged in that incident, including a man who was about to go on trial. The Indiana Supreme Court have issued this statement surrounding the threat, and it says in part, we continue to believe that the safety of our judges is of the utmost priority. Our judges across the state have resources available to assess the safety of their courthouses and homes. We're encouraged that legislation to protect the personal information of judges is being advanced through the House and Senate. And a former Metro police officer is sentenced to 72 years in prison for child molestation and other child sex crimes. The investigation into Kamal Bola started in 2024 after a recording device was found in a room of an underage girl in Hendricks County. Police then discovered Bola committed repeated acts of sexual misconduct against the girl over an extended period of time. He resigned from IMPD back in 2024 and was convicted last month. And IMPD is giving us more insight into open homicide investigations. So that includes Chris Somerville's case, who was shot and killed a year ago today. It happened on February 25th of last year. That's when IMPD responded to Bueller Avenue near 34th Street and Lyndhurst Drive. Officers found Somerville shot. He later died at the hospital. His case is one of 73 unsolved homicides from 2025. Just that year alone. Police say unsolved cases do not mean closed, which gives Somerville's mom, Denise Smith, some hope. She's asking anyone with info to come forward to help police make an arrest in her son's case.
Think about, search your heart, you know, that this could be you. It could be your family. You know, you never know. I never in a million years thought I would be in this situation.
Chris Somerville would have turned 37 this week. IMPD says sometimes all it takes is a phone call or going back through security footage to help a family get some answers. And it's crunch time for lawmakers at the State House as an important deadline has already passed. So yesterday was the last day for Senate bills to pass the House. If votes were not submitted, well, some bills will not reach the governor's desk. One bill that has garnered a lot of attention and has seen a lot of back and forth is Senate Bill 199. It started as a broad bill addressing youth technology. Then, after the disappearance and death of Fisher's teen Haley Busby, lawmakers added in language about protections for kids from online predators. That language was then taken out and put back in before the bill ended up in conference committee. Several conference committees are expected to meet today, as well as the full Senate. We know at least 35 bills have passed both the House and Senate, and they're waiting on the governor's signature. But there are many more left up in the air. And one bill moving forward is legislation creating a framework to bring the Chicago Bears to Indiana. It passed out of the State House with overwhelming bipartisan support. House lawmakers did make some changes. Now the bill goes back to the Senate, where lawmakers will decide if they agree with the changes. If they do, it heads to the governor's desk. Emily Longnecker and Dustin Grove have covered this legislative session extensively. You can find their coverage on Crossroads Politics, streaming right now over on WTHR+.